If you're a young Gen Z founder thinking that you need to reinvent the wheel in order to break into Silicon Valley or raise funds through investors, you can be right, but not exactly. You see, today we're going to be speaking with the founder of Jupitrr AI, Cheng, who managed to get listed on Product Hunt, AppSumo, and gain over 100,000 businesses to use their platform. And most likely you haven't heard of Jupitrr AI. They are an AI B-roll video editor. And basically in simple terms, you upload a raw video and it will automatically do all of the editing for you. Sounds like a pretty basic concept, right? Well, you're not wrong, because there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of companies creating the exact same thing that Harris is scaling right now. Even some of the biggest names that you've heard of, DaVinci, Adobe Premiere Pro, Capcut, have released similar features on their platforms as well. Well, today, we'll be breaking down the step-by-step framework on how Harris managed to position his software as a unique company to stand out from others in the market, and how you can use the exact formula to replicate it for your own business in whatever industry you're building in. Let's dive straight into it.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Bosco, for having me here. Basically, I started my first business in 2017. It was a few years already. The first startup we founded was actually during our college time with my co-founders. We built to 100,000 users with over $20 million of USD transactions. We're basically the Fiverr or the Upwork of Southeast Asia. And then we found a big opportunity to serve people in the video space with AI specifically. In 2023, we launched Jupitrr AI, which we help small businesses to transform their boring talking videos into engaging, viral, social-ready videos with a focus in B-roll. And we auto create videos for them with like effects, animation, etc. in a matter of seconds. So we want to redefine how we are making videos for business owners or small businesses, and I hope they will not like go back to Premiere Pro or Capcut in the following years.
I mean, as a content creator myself for over 3 years, I started off making gaming content and stuff like that. Definitely, there are times when I just don't want to edit the video and just use a video software like this. So before we jump into the specifics of the software, I just want to start off by asking about your unique journey, because to be honest, there are not many software founders from Hong Kong who is currently, out there in the Bay Area and stuff like that. So I read that you started off as a videographer way back in 2013. And when you graduated from HKU, what was like the overall thought process of, going into startups?
Okay, to be honest, in 2016-17, there isn't too much of a startup thing at all in Hong Kong. Most people haven't heard about the term startup even. So I came across the term and I feel like, oh, it's actually pretty exciting. I always want to create something that helps the people in the world and make an impact, basically. And all of my friends are actually going for the banking and consulting jobs, which is great because, Hong Kong is a financial hub, commercial hub. The smartest people usually in Hong Kong, they go for work for the biggest banks, investment banks in Hong Kong, and they earn a lot of money, especially in Hong Kong, and the taxes are low. So yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good for them. But I think I want something different in my life. I want to really feel to create impact for the world, specifically on the area or the space that I'm very interested in. And at that time, I was a videographer. I was thinking about, hey, we want to actually give these people a fair opportunity to get matched with employers. So I didn't find this platform myself in Southeast Asia. So I decided to make a platform myself. So my co-founder and I, Jerome, my co-founder and I is grind on these platform and build it. And yeah, that's how we get started in 2017.
Awesome. I think before 2017, you were also working on some different projects like Free Hunter itself. And that was like mid 2011, right? And back then, AI really wasn't that popular. So how did you manage to, self-teach yourself how to code, especially with like limited resources, as it's probably the pre-internet era where, things weren't that advanced itself?
Unfortunately, I'm not a developer. So my co-founder, Jerome, is the developer. I think he self-taught many things as well. Not saying HK is not good, but like universities usually teach students in a more theoretical way, more academic way, and the practical stuff of how to really code is just to learn by yourself. And of course, right now in 2025, I highly encourage everyone to use Cursor AI because you can learn coding without too much of any engineering background.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's Cursor is really awesome, and also using like the new models to code as well. So with Jupyter AI and like the overall idea, like at that time, did you see there was going to be like a spike in video content? That's why you decided to pursue it, or was there anything else that you predicted that happened in the future, like in 2025 or 2030?
I think the thing that drives me is that I know that when AI ChatGPT Model 3 has come out, I know it was going to be a big thing in AI because it's unlike anything else. It's not a bubble. It's not like NFT in a few years ago in Hong Kong. Um, so I think it's a real thing. And video is a bigger thing. I've been seeing a lot of business owners starting to create content on social media like the Reels, the YouTube Shorts, and I think it's a big thing. But I never seen anything with AI to create videos for businesses. So that's how we got started. We statistically we also look into software like Ahrefs. We look into how people search for AI video. We discovered that there is a 10 to 20x increase in just the past 12 months. So it means that people are very curious about how to use AI to make video. And then we dig deeper. We ask users for their qualitative feedback, and we realize that it's actually they don't want to make videos. They don't want to edit videos to be specific. So yeah, that's how we got started. We know there's a pain point there. We validated it. We got users who pay us before we launched the product. We just got a Figma design. We talked to a user. They paid us. That's crazy. We haven't seen anything like that in my previous experience. I've built loads of products before, by the way. It doesn't happen overnight. I can share more later. But we basically built I think 5 different products, 4 or 5. I forgot about it already. So let's say 5. We've built 5 different products before the Jupitrr AI version 2023. Since 2020, we've built 5 other products, and they didn't take off. We didn't get a lot of paying customers. So I think it's a lot about learning and resilience about how you don't give up and keep like finding the North Star, the thing that you truly believe in, iterate, experiment, and get the way out as soon as possible.
Diving more into like the personal level of things, like what were some of your core motivation which continue to help you, fuel your vision with startups? Because personally, as a founder myself and just hearing from lots of people, like there are definitely going to be times when things get hard, right? And really we rely on these motivations or external factors to keep pushing us. So what were your external factors or pushing factors?
Um, I think it's just a self belief. It's a pure, sheer belief that I'm the right person for this job. I think I'm a good founder. I know it sounds a bit arrogant, but then I think for most successful people, you have to really believe in yourself. If you have like 10% doubt about, oh, maybe I'm just not good enough, and you never get back on, you never recover, that's where failure is actually lying in. I'm not saying you never should back down. I think everyone has fragility, including myself, but never let that harm your confidence. Get back up. The thing that drives us is that we believe we are the right people. We're a good team. I've been with my same co-founders for many years, and we didn't break up. We have a good relationship till today. That's a very good sign. We deliver, we grow, we learn a lot of things these years compared with people who work in normal jobs. So it gives us a good fulfillment. And even I would say worst case scenario, which I don't prefer that option, of course. The worst case scenario is that if we really need money and we really cannot drive monetization, we can go get a job. We can still get easily 100K US annual salary. So like that's not the thing that I'm really caring about. The thing is that what makes you wake up every day. You love doing what you want to do. You believe that is the future. You believe, let's say, we believe that businesses shouldn't edit videos for like 6 hours for just a 30-second reel. It sounds so stupid. Yeah, it's just that belief. We think that is the future, and nobody's actually building the future that we want. And we want to focus on that, and we believe on that. And we also believe that like failure is part of the whole journey. You can read a lot of like books from famous people, from like Edison who built the light bulb. You always have to understand that every failure is the right path to your success. If you learn, of course. If you don't learn from the failure, you never succeed. But if you don't fail and you succeed, it's luck. If you fail and you succeed, is that you're really successful. So that's what my take. And every time when I fail, I think to myself, what a good opportunity to prove that I'm closer to success. Let's talk numbers. Let's say 5 failures, 1 success. If I get the second, the third, I'm closer to success if I learn from every mistake. So I'm getting closer and closer. If I give up right now, it's a stupid move for me. So that's how I keep moving. And I don't know, it's just a sheer self-belief that I have to believe in myself. Otherwise, I couldn't make it.
I think those are some really wise words. Like jumping a bit ahead, I know we're talking about more like future vision. Like what's the end goal with Jupitrr AI, or like for the next 10 years that you're going to be working on?
I believe the world with video is going to be very different in the coming few years, especially when AI is here. I believe that authenticity is super important. So that's why we're focusing on talking head videos. So the thing that you can really replace is your own face. When everything can be automated, everyone will be like, oh, how can I make $100 in 3 seconds? It will work in the first 1 year. But after the market saturated, I'm not sure you have learned about economics, like demand and supply, where it's so obvious that it's such an easy win. We use like 3 seconds to make a video and you probably gain like, let's say 10,000 views. Everyone will be doing that. And eventually you only get 10 views and you get no money out of it. So automation is good for now, but how to be specific and authentic in your video would be very important. So we believe first, showing the head and talk in front of the camera, like video podcasts like these, would be super important in terms of building the company brand, and even getting the top line traction, which is exposure of your business, of your service or product. So second, what I believe is that businesses shouldn't be needing to edit videos again, because what they want are very repetitive. They're not like Wang Gawei, the films and the famous movies out there, super creative. AI couldn't really have that kind of specific and unique way of editing yet, at least. So I don't believe that would be happening in the coming few years as good as human beings. And it lacks like a human touch as well. But for business owners, what they want to do is just to have the video to be engaged, well edited, with some animation, with subtitles, they're good to go. So that's what they're looking for. And we think we can automate that 100% in the coming few years. And we're doing it at the first point right now. We're having a good early product, growing traction. We've got over 2,000 customers right now. So I think it proves the way that we believe there will be the future for video in a few years.
Speaking more about like AI and content creation itself, where do you see AI like in the next 10 years? Like, let's just say we're in 2035, where do you see AI? Because just speaking to a lot of people in the startup space who are, building finance startups. And I actually recently spoke to someone who was, I think, developing some kind of like VR headset, and like everyone's vision of the future on AI is really different. So I just want your overall general take. Like, is there going to be a tipping point with AI where we're going to get to a point where it's just going to be too many fake things around and it's going to stop? Or like, what do you believe in?
That's a very hard question to answer. I definitely got asked this quite often. But then, let's say for now, I talk a lot with ChatGPT. I even ask ChatGPT to give me feedback, and I really will like independently judge whether the feedback is valuable or just like BS. 1 year ago, a bit BS. Right now, solid advice. It's crazy. So you can treat them as an expert. Just 1 year of the difference. Model 3 and Model 3.0 or 4.0 mini, depends. The quality of the response is so different. If the growth is actually persisting, it's very hard to predict what will be happening. But if I have to really predict in 10 years, I would say all repetitive work, especially on computer work, will be totally replaced. So every like scraping, researching without too much thinking, low barrier work, entry level work, most likely will be replaced. And mid level people will be busying in negotiating with the high level people, bargaining, aligning the strategies. The execution work probably doesn't need much work at all. So probably very minimal people will be doing elementary, like low tier work. Companies will become smaller. I'm not sure if you heard of like one successful company called Tolly. It's an early stage startup. They haven't raised any capital, but then they only have 5 people in the team. They have a 2 million annual revenue already. So I think in this way, with more AI coming in, employees is a less demanded thing, and so more people will become entrepreneurs. Because if you work for other people, you have to be really smart. You have to have strategic skills, communication skills, and that would be a bit closer to an entrepreneur's like criteria. So the only thing is that would you be willing to take the risk and to be a founder? But if everything, the cost is like lower and lower for becoming an entrepreneur, it would be having more people who do side businesses, freelancers, solopreneurs, taking courses, sharing interesting content, become content creator, YouTuber, TikToker, etc. I think these would be the trend, and enterprises will have. It's either like a huge enterprise, like Microsoft doing OpenAI, or they will be like a lot of solopreneurs or indie hackers doing small businesses, and anything in between will be becoming less and less, in my opinion.
So having like your own AI agent to control and operate with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like more on your overall education, like you went to like the Hong Kong system, you gone through local school and then you went to HKU. So what do you think were some of your core takeaways with both of the education? Because sometimes even for myself, I question whether or not the education that I have right now would make you a successful entrepreneur, successful founder. Like, do you think there's a lack between some kind of skills that you develop during the startup versus your education system?
Definitely. I would say it's all over the world, because what we're being taught is the curriculum given to us probably 20, 30 years ago. And they're not updating that fast. They're updating probably every few years. But AI is like becoming new every single day. The model is like, well, today there's like Gemini, tomorrow there's the chat and the DeepSeek and all that. It's too fast. And the curriculum at least can only be updated every year. And it's a bit bureaucratic because, universities, they are like big companies, right? Corporations. So they cannot move that fast in a realistic way. So what I think is that universities should be more about going back to the basics. The first university in the world is actually only having philosophy as the only subject. Even the first, let's say, 20, 30 years of having university, I forgot which era it is, but philosophy is the only thing that you can study in the first universities in the world. So they teach you how you can discover yourself, discover the meaning of life. I think that is what the university ultimately will become back. Maybe teaching you about communication, maybe negotiation skills, about how to learn, like learn how to learn, like these stuff, like basic principle, first principle stuff. The knowledge about, how do you do the Black-Scholes formula, the demand supply curve, and the practical formula stuff, only if you want to build the AI. Otherwise, you probably don't need that. Or you want to be a mathematician. Otherwise, you don't need those technical skills. So I think that's like a break between the reality and what we're studying in university, especially with AI that can replace everything, and you don't have to like know a lot of these things anymore.
Yeah, and like a lot of information you can also find online already, and probably even taught in better ways than your teachers. So,
Yeah.
like, what would you suggest someone who's young, like for example, like 15 or even like before their 20s, to study right now if they want to get into probably like a startup position like yourself, or even get to like this high of an achievement?
So listen to the Gen Z Fastlane podcast for sure. That's the first thing. Yeah, but I mean, seriously, listen to more podcasts. Listen to more podcasts. You're the average of the 5 people that's closest to you. If you want to be the best in the world, the fastest way is to listen to podcasts. And in the past days, you can read books, but if you don't have that time, even myself, I don't have time to read the whole book sometimes. Try to listen to more podcasts. A lot of good podcasts out there. They interview the best people in the world. And podcasting is becoming a more and more popular thing because even those big brands or even startups like us, we want to get more people to understand the brand and to know more about the founders. Eventually, it's a competitive space out there. Branding is a big thing. If you have the social following, or the authenticity on social media, I think that is a big leverage. So yeah, just listen to more podcasts. There'll be more podcasts out there from great founders. I promise you. After 3 years, you can watch back this video and say, "Oh wow, like this evolved so much. How come there are 10 times more, like celebrities these days?" Yeah, celebrities these days are more on YouTube, the investors, founders, people you usually cannot really talk to. They will share all the knowledge with you in the coming 3 years. It would be a big shift, evolution in the video space.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning this. And I think you missed one thing, which was very important, which is to use Jupitrr AI for your homework assignments, because I've been actually doing that as well to like edit, because like, some video projects as well. So no more manual editing.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know the feedback as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just speaking about Jupitrr AI. I'm going to just share my screen because I actually tried using it as well. Let me see
Yeah.
if do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I try to put in a video. It actually feels really crisp, like the overall interface, and I really like it. So just like a couple questions in general about the software and like where it's gonna go. Like right now, like one of the biggest questions that I have is, would you guys be able to like, edit like the words in between and maybe like recorrect like the AI face in between, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, we have over 200 features that we want to build. We have all the things already, like what you mentioned, but we'll be going to launch a very brand new version of the product where everything is so much more automated. So right now, what you do on this version is that you upload the video. You can highlight any transcript on the left-hand side, and we'll generate a relevant contextual stock video for you. Or you can actually choose web images, or you can choose your own uploaded images and so on. But in our future version, which probably will be launching next month, we can just do every editing work for you. So all the transitions, on-screen text, and subtitles, stock videos, we can do all of these for you automatically without you doing anything. So that would be our next version. Just upload and you can download right away after like a minute. So that's what we're doing.
Diving more into these features, you mentioned you have 200 different like unreleased features, right? So like, what's your decision process between which feature to launch first and which ones to just keep sealed?
A lot of things to really consider. So first, we have to know our positioning. What is the unique selling point of the product? Second, who are our target audience? How is it differentiated from the other similar products? So when you know about these two questions, what we call is USP, unique selling point, and TA, target audience. When we know the USP and the TA, find the things that they are most painful about that is not solvable yet in the current market. And the more impact, the higher impact it is, and the lower effort it is to build, that is the feature that we want to get to push it to the high priority. So that's the way we do it.
Got you. So in terms of like the revenue stream right now, I also saw you have like some affiliate programs, right? How effective is the affiliates right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's great because we have a lot of affiliates signing up already, approaching 1,000 already. Those are people with a lot of experience in making videos on YouTube and TikTok. We want to leverage them. So basically, what we want to do is that we don't want to hire salespeople because we're targeting small businesses right now. Hiring salespeople doesn't make any sense for us because the ticket is too low. But then what we want to do is to leverage influencer because we are in the video marketing space. We want people who are already using our platform to promote us so their audience will be getting notice of what we're doing. Yeah, and then we have got 3 influencers getting over thousands of revenue for us, and then we give them a 30% commission split. So I think it's a very good revenue stream for them, especially they're living in countries like Southeast Asia, Philippines, in India, Pakistan, maybe from Hong Kong, and so on. So the revenue for them is a lot larger than people who are from other places in the world. Let's say from the US, the cost of living is way higher. So of course, like we welcome everyone to join the program. But just to say that if you're from, let's say in Vietnam and you can speak English very well, you can distribute your videos to the US market or to the Western market, which our target audience is the Western market, by the way. The revenue that you can get is very sustainable for you already. So that's what we are building for the users.
And would you say affiliate marketing is like where most of your revenue stream comes from?
I won't say it's most of it, but I would say word of mouth is the most of it. They search online, they heard about us from a friend, and they Google search it, and they found us.
Got you. So I also saw like you guys went on Product Hunt, right? #1 for like a couple weeks there, and then you also got a couple awards. So how effective was really these distribution platforms? Do you think they play like a huge role? And are you currently also applying for more of these like pitching competitions itself?
Yeah, I would say Product Hunt is very useful for us. We got Product of the Week, which is a massive achievement for us. We have beaten other 1,200 products or companies in the whole week, globally speaking, even from YC companies from anywhere in Asia, in Europe as well. So it's a big achievement for us to rank #1 out of 1,200 companies. And brought us a lot of traffic, of course. What we are seeing there is that we've got covered by a lot of newsletters and directory sites as well. So it brings a lot of unexpected traffic to the site. In terms of pitching competitions, I think we've won 2 the past year. I participated into 3, and we got 2 champions. I think that's not bad of an achievement for us. But whether we will be participating in more, honestly, I don't think so, because the pitching competition for me is to really just to get connected with the audience, maybe the panel, if they are relevant people like great founders or investors. It'd be great to connect. But I know it sounds weird, but I don't really care about whether I get the champion or not. I don't care. I don't care at all. I'd rather to not get the champion, but meet 3 interesting people that I think is valuable, than to win the champion and not meet anyone valuable at the site. So that's what I'm thinking. Winning competitions means nothing. If you need a bite, here it is. Winning pitching competitions means nothing. All you should care about is your product, your users, whether your product is something your users love, whether people pay for that. It's the most important thing.
I like it. Sticking back to first principles on why you build startups in general and why businesses thrive, which is fixing pain points. So like
Exactly.
I think one of the very most important key things that we haven't covered yet was what is the differentiation point between Jupitrr AI and other content creating software?
I would say, let's say for Capcut, they're trying to do a lot of things. They are very customizable, but they're not the fastest to build your video. So what we're focusing on is to see a market where it's growing very fast, which is video podcasters, talking head videos. We want to serve these people only for now. So I think if you use Capcut or you use Premiere Pro, you can take 6 hours to edit a 30-second video just to add your B-roll, animation, effects, and so on. It's very time consuming. Just finding the stock videos on 4 or 5 different libraries is very time consuming. If AI can generate everything for you in just a matter of seconds, it saves you so much time. I would say that's the differentiation between us and like platforms like Capcut and Premiere Pro.
Got you. So just basically diving into a more specific and niched market and basically having like a more like targeted audience is what you would suggest.
Yeah, I started in Hong Kong. Maybe that's a side thing I really want to share. A niche market is always better than a broad market in early stage because every broad market solution, you will have 100 or thousands of competitors already. But sometimes when we're in Hong Kong, it's like, oh, if the market niche is really too niche. In a global market, a niche market is almost never too niche because there are too many people in the world compared to 7 million people in Hong Kong. So I think I did something wrong in my first startup, which is be really localized in the Hong Kong market. Of course, we expanded to Singapore, we expanded to Taiwan. But the game is very different. Targeting global audience is always the better thing. So we can have the luxury to be really in a niche market. And if you don't target a niche market, it's very hard to grow. As I said, the competitors. But targeting, if you're a startup founder and you want to build a unicorn company, and your web page is focusing on Hong Kong, Cantonese, I can say 90% of the chances in the future you can see is that you won't be able to turn into a unicorn at all. It's super hard. And I'm seeing a lot of founders doing that. That's what I was a few years ago. And that's the brutal truth about starting global and starting local. That's the hard journey that I've been through before. So I want to share this in this podcast.
Awesome. I'm definitely love to hear more of that. So just in conclusion and just summarizing everything that we've spoken about, rather than just talking about, the classic advice on asking, oh, what's one advice that you'll give to young people, as I'm pretty sure that's a very repetitive question on podcasts, let's just switch it around and talk about what is one of the biggest challenges that you're currently facing with Jupitrr AI and how are you planning to solve that?
I would say it's the expectation of users. So users expect us to be able to do this and that, and they are very desperate on that. It's very hard to compete with like the inbox that the emails that we're getting from the inbox. We're not capable to build everything they want yet. That's on us. But then as an early stage startup, we cannot build everything as well. So we have to manage user expectations, and then we have to hire people to combat with the growth and also with the demand from the users, but not losing sight of the product direction as well. So everything has to be in a perfect balance. I think that would be a big challenge for us currently, especially we're a team of 5 people only. So I think achieving so much, I'm like super happy with the team, but we probably need a bigger team to deal with the user expectation, and maybe we have to be clear about what we exactly are building to make users not expect us to build everything around like the video space, which is a huge space for now.
Yeah. So with like launching these new features, is the current plan still like launching yearly, or is it quarterly, or is it monthly?
Weekly? I would say weekly. it's not like new features. It could be a big thing. It could be a small thing. Really depends. We want to launch quick. It could be a small win for the team, but we have to make sure the code quality is good as well. In the very early stage, quality isn't really a big matter. Just launch it. If you have bugs, fix it later on. In a slightly later stage, in the early stage, if you get what I mean. So we have like 2,000 paying customers at this stage. We need to make sure the quality is not too bad. Maybe 8 out of 10, let's say, or 7 out of 10, depends on how you say it. In the early stage, it could be a 5. Right now, 5 is definitely not okay. We have to get an 8 at least. But if you're 10 right now, you're too slow. So we're balancing that at the moment.
And one last question, actually. What would you say is like the biggest sticky feature of your product? Like, for example, let's just say like another company launches a similar software and you guys are just like competing against the price. Like, what would you say is the biggest stickiness of using Jupitrr AI?
I think people love Jupitrr AI because they love the B-roll generation. We've partnered with Getty or iStock, which is the biggest stock library provider in the world. If you really want to get their stock videos, it's at least $5 US per stock video. But we give you an unlimited generation, which is also faster because you don't have to search one by one. We understand your context and use AI to pick the right relevant contextual stock video for you in a matter of seconds. And we do it for $22 a month. And then it's unlimited. So it's way cheaper, way faster. And people love it because it's accurate.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just an amazing product. Just very crisp, no brainer, $22.
Yeah. We should charge it a bit more expensive soon, but now it's $22.
Definitely. Imagine like doing like hundreds of dollars,
Exactly.
but yeah, Harris, I really appreciate you hopping on the Gen Z Fastlane. Amazing conversation today. All the best with Jupitrr AI. Can't wait to see you guys become one of the unicorn big companies. And for anyone who's looking to contact Harris, I'll link all of his bios in the description below. And until the next one, peace out.